Last time on the 20-Sided Realms. Suddenly, the windows rattle, and the roar of an explosion fills Trollskull Alley. Most definitely was a 40-foot blast, reminiscent of a fireball spell. Yes, it definitely wasn't a human being that did this. It was one of those automatons, very similar to that one that they have dancing about at the House of Inspired Hands. As you approach the temple, the House of Inspired Hands looks like a cross between a temple and a workshop. You see the silhouette of a humanoid shape perching on the rooftop. It extends its arms, and there's something in its hand. He seems to throw it towards you. Kafan, it crashes directly into your face.
Ow. Oh, that hurt.
No, it didn't. It was only 2 hit points. It's crazy.
You're a big tough guy. Come on.
What was that? Are you okay? Are you bleeding, Kavan?
No, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Just surprised me.
Because we have no healers in this part.
Did the bird thing hit him and land on the ground, or did it fly off?
It kind of exploded. So there are pieces of metal feathers, some cogs, and lots of other little mechanical items that are scattered around the floor around Kavan. And there's a small little bit of charred remain, like what's it called?
Like in Daffy Duck.
Yeah, around Kavan's nose is a little bit of like black powder
Burn marks.
It did cause a very small explosion. As soon as you react to this bizarre occurrence, the silhouetted form up on the roof quickly slips into some sort of hatch or window and is no longer visible. He seemed to have ducked back inside.
How many feet up to the top of the temple?
So it looks like it's 2 stories with like an attic space is your guesstimate. Being a 2-story man, you're pretty. You would guess that the design and pitch of the roof, there's definitely an attic.
Okay.
So 2-story building with an attic.
So, and this looks like presents as a run of the mill kind of house.
It's a temple.
It's a temple. Okay.
It is conservative in its decor. Like, it's not lavish, but it is made of the craftsmanship is evident with a little bit of interesting flourish as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, are you sure we want to go in here, guys? Because if the next step we take, another bird thing hits us in the face, we're all going to be dead by the time we get there.
Yeah, Kavan said it hurt. Can I pick up a little piece of like the cog from the bird or something and do an investigation check? Because gnomes are known to tinker, so I'm just curious if it's something I recognize.
Absolutely. So you pick it up and like you understand the individual parts. Like there's some like clock springs and a bunch of cogs, but its design or what you can gather from the design, it is almost illogical in its construction. So it's like how this thing flew at all, you are not able to piece together from what you're able to see here. It truly doesn't look like it should work, but somehow it did.
And it had like flappy wings and like was flying like a bird, not like a weird helicopter situation.
Yeah, it wasn't a glider. The wings were functioning like a real bird would function.
The mysterious works of Gond. I guess we'll. There's a front door. We'll go. Let's walk in. I'm gonna start heading towards the door.
I'll follow.
Yeah, I'll follow along.
Yeah, you head towards the door, and like most churches, the doors are not locked. You walk right in, And the first thing that you notice is a big hall, and there is a sign that is hanging up predominantly in the middle of the hall that says the Hall of Exemplary Inventions. And you see almost like a museum exhibit. There are lots of little pedestals and some things hanging from wire from the ceilings, and they all have little placards underneath them. There are several people busying themselves about in priestly adornments, robes with the symbol of Gond on them. And no one really pays you much attention as you walk in. Everyone seems to be busily about their work, but at the same moment, no one does really stop you from continuing and exploring the space.
Cool. Let's look around. Are there any like bird things?
Flapping around.
Yeah.
Kavan, you start looking around to see anything that looks bird-like, and the first thing that catches your eye is a wooden machine that does have wings, but it is pretty large, and it's suspended from the ceiling with some wires. Underneath it, it has a little plaque that says "Wooden Flying Machine." And there is a little seat that looks like a person, perhaps a bit smaller than you, Kavan, could sit down and control it.
Nice.
So we are here because we believe that the person that threw the fireball might be associated with the temple, or the person that was killed might be associated with the temple.
The person who threw the fireball
As a puppet.
was described. It was described as a walking, living puppet.
Here's the thing. From what I understand, I do believe that the Gond and its followers aren't evil.
No, they're considered a very neutral. Their pursuit is always for the genius of invention.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, why they'd be involved in this murder if they really are. So, I mean, I guess we should. There's a lot of people in here. Maybe there's a priest or someone that we can talk to.
Absolutely. Kavan, one other item did capture your attention. It is a strange looking helmet. And what really caught your eye was the sign underneath it said, "Try me."
Like a sample helmet.
Yeah, sample.
Yeah, a true warrior would put that right on.
I'll put it on. Yeah, I'll put it on.
You put it on, and you start hearing some whirling cogs and some sounds start emanating, kind of like echoing around your head, and two little mechanical arms come out of the top of the head, and they start slapping you in the face.
Okay.
As you are doing this, a woman in the priestly robes walks up to you and greets you. "Oh, well, hello. Welcome to the Temple of God. I see that you have tried our waking helmet." It is a great invention that if you ever need to stay awake, either you're on watch for a very important mission, or perhaps you're in a very boring lecture and you just can't be seen nodding off. This helmet is guaranteed to keep you awake while wearing it.
Are these popular? Are they popular amongst you and your friends?
Well, as far as I know, this is the only one. But it didn't really catch on. As you can see, it seems there's a bit of a fine tuning to it that needs to be done. It does just continuously slap you in the face, and it would probably be a little bit more useful if it only slapped you in the face if if it sensed that your head nodded. She takes out a notebook and she starts writing some things down and gets a little bit distracted. And Kavan, the helmet is continuously slapping you in the face. At this point, it has not stopped.
Two more damage.
I'm already asleep. I'm sleeping. I'm going to try to go to sleep with this thing on.
So the helmet is having the opposite effect. It's making you fall asleep.
That's a challenge.
Kavan is remembering of his mother slapping him gently on the face to ease him to sleep as a baby.
Must be a barbarian thing.
It's a northern tradition.
So yeah, a lot of slapping and spitting.
Mom, slap me to sleep, please.
Now, so now we've seen 2 inventions that these folks have made that don't seem to work properly. The exploding bird, this helmet slapper. I turn to the priestess and be like, does anything around this place, do any of these inventions work properly? What about that thing up there? Has anybody actually ever ridden that wooden flying machine before?
Oh yes, that one actually works quite well. The problem being is it has a very limited weight threshold, so it needs to be a diminutive person to use it, and quite frankly, many of the materials needed to make it function are quite pricey. If we're able to get production value low enough, I see them becoming all the rage. But I digress. What brings you to the Temple of Gon today? Are you just here to broaden your horizons and awaken your minds?
Yes. Also looking for someone, right? Right, guys? I'm trying not to
we were
say too
we
much.
were just walking by. We were walking by, minding our own business, and then the big one here got hit by this bird. You know anything about that? So
Yes,
we're here to return your bird bits. I guess we're here to return your bird bits and maybe talk to the original owner.
I do apologize for that. Yes, that most likely was our resident Nimblewright. We lovingly call them Nim. It's a autonomous creature fashioned both by mechanics and magic to give it life. It's truly a wonder, but specifically was made for the Festival of Wonders last year. Was donated to us by a traveling wizard inventor. He was quite skilled. I do apologize. The Nimblewright, Nim is what we call him. He does, they do get a bit rambunctious and probably a bit bored. I could bring you up to. I would actually like them to apologize to you. It's good to teach good manners to our sentient inventions, and they need to learn how to ingratiate themselves in society. If you'll follow me, we could go up to Nim's room. It's up in the attic. That's where they like it. This way. Do you mind putting the helmet back?
Fine.
You got to wake him up from his nap.
The priestess takes you up a stairwell that goes up to a second level, and then you go down a hallway, and then there is another kind of small stair that ends in a wooden door. She opens it up, and it opens up into an attic area. And you immediately notice that there is a big table, a workbench that is filled with cogs and tools, and there are little alchemy bottles and Bunsen burners, and the clutter. There's boxes just filled with mechanical parts and whirly gizmos and springy spring bouncers and lots of other things of invention. What you do not see is Nim anywhere. The priestess will then look around, and she will call out, Nim, I must speak to you. And sheepishly from behind some boxes, you see this mechanical puppet person stand up. In place of a face, there is just a wooden shape of a head, and it walks about and clanks towards you, and it stands before the priestess and slouches its shoulders and hangs its head low. And the priestess says, "Nim, did you throw something at these nice people as they came by?" And Nim sheepishly shakes his head up and down, and as it does this, there are some whirling and creaks.
So it has no like indentations, even it's just smooth.
No, if you think about
head?
like one of those wooden like artist dolls, it's very similar to that. Like its face is just this blank oval.
Nice.
And Nim, did you throw anything else today? Did you throw anything else this morning, Nim?
Nim turns its head towards you and then starts waving its arms and articulating its fingers. And Valletta, well, the priestess name's Valletta. You never asked. and the priestess will translate his motions and says, Nim says that no, that's the first thing he's thrown today.
Hey, Nim, my name's Dolan.
Are you okay, Dolan?
I just had a bit of a shock this morning. So, my name's Dolan, and these are my friends here. You're such an unusual and amazing specimen. Are there do you have like cousins or brothers or sisters or anybody else in the city that's like you? Because you're so cool.
Nim hesitates a little bit with this question and then makes a simple gesture, and the priestess Valletta, which you don't know is her name. That's just a secret between
She's
me
wearing
and
a
the
name
audience.
tag.
Oh, yes.
Blessings. My name is Valletta.
Hi, my name is Valletta. Ask me about our flying machine.
Yeah, exactly.
She translates, well, Nim says no, but he was a little sheepish about it. Nim, why did you hesitate when you said that you didn't have any brothers or sisters or cousins? Nim moves his head back and forth, and he kind of like starts drawing a circle on the ground with his toe and pretends to kind of put his hands in his pockets. And then eventually he starts signing again. And Valletta says, "Oh dear. Well, this is most alarming news. I suppose that we were not providing Nim with enough stimulation, that rather recently Nim created a companion for themselves."
Now, let me guess. You created Nim. Your companion looks a lot like you?
Nim shakes his head up and down.
Okay.
And then he signs something and says, but Nim is saying that his companion had, he was very sad and angry at the same time. And he added his own little flourish to his face. He has a little frowny face.
Oh.
How sad.
It's a great extended metaphor about the unhappiness of the created and the basic impotence of the creator to really give meaning to its creation.
Nim interrupts your soliloquy on the nature of mankind, and says, Valletta translates, well, Nim did give his creation a name. I guess it's hard to translate to common because it's kind of his own little speak, but it is just a slight variation on the symbol he uses for his own names. I guess the easiest way to translate it would be Bim. So Nim created Bim, but Bim is sad and mad.
Does
all at the same
Bim
time.
throw things? Does Bim throw things?
At that question, Nim shakes his head up and down quite vigorously, and he signs, yes, Bim does like to throw things quite a lot. In fact, I haven't seen him in several 10-day. Nim signs.
Wow.
10-day? Like tens of days?
Yes, in the Forgotten Realms, there are not weeks. There are 10 days, and every month is 4 10 days, I think. So every month's 40 days.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we don't talk about that in Gnomish culture. We have a totally different calendar.
It's a base 6 time measurement. Yeah. So just to be accurate, I don't say weeks. I say 10 days.
Nice.
Here in the Forgotten Realms. Some people will love that.
That's what I love about TSR. It's the authenticity.
Oh yeah.
As you're breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. We really try to stick to the rules of Dungeons and Dragons on this podcast.
Yeah. Ed's actually asleep over there. Like someone needs to slap him a bit.
Nim, where do you think Bim ran off to?
Because honestly, someone threw birds at us this morning, like other than you, Nim. So we're kind of looking for who else might have been throwing birds this morning.
Yeah,
just wanna talk to him.
Valletta will chime in. Well, I'm terribly sorry about that. I can assure you that Nim will receive some punishment for what he's done.
Well, I mean, what we didn't come here to have Nim get punished for.
We just want to get a little bit of an apology. Can you apologize to Kavan, and then we can go find Bim and have him apologize to our house,
Nim holds up his hand as a sign to wait, and then he puts up one finger as 1 second, and he walks back behind his counter and pulls out a box and lifts up a sort of wand-like contraption. It is at least wand shape, but it has several gears and levers that are sticking out and around it, some little pulleys and circles. And at the top, there is a little red and green umbrella. And Nim brings this strange contraption over to you and offers it to you, Chaz.
To me?
It shakes its head up and down in a yes fashion.
Okay, I'll take this object, and then I will hand it on over to Kavan, because that's the person who was wronged by that bird you threw.
And as you are doing this, Nim starts to frantically sign, and Valletta will translate for him and says, well, it seems that Nim does feel very bad about Bim and is worried about Bim and his possible malfeasance and behaviors. And he created this contraption that should be able to help one locate Bim. He says you hold down the lever, and if Bim is nearby.
Chaz is already pressing any buttons on here, turning levers, turning dials.
As you do it, the little umbrella does extend and open up, and then Bim shakes his head up and down, yes, and then signs and points to the umbrella and says, the umbrella will start spinning if Bim is near. It is attuned to sense his very specific life force. And the closer you get to him, the faster it will spin. It should only work if you're within about 500 feet of BIM.
Well,
Valletta is interested and kind of looks over the contraption and says, well, I can confirm the way it is designed, and it there is, she gives a little smell. Yes, there's a hint of enchantment to it as well. She looks over at Nim. Nim, well, I want to be mad at you, but I have to say, I'm just impressed.
Well, thanks, lady, for helping us. And Nim, thank you for this tool. And I think we're going to try to track down your I don't know, is it your brother, your child,
Your girlfriend?
well, regardless.
Yeah, he makes a little symbol, and he puts his arms together and kind of like he's rocking a baby and goes up and down. And Nim confirms that, yes, he considers Bim its child.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to ask, when we find Bim, is there anything you want us to tell him?
Nim hesitates for a moment and then signs, just tell him I love him and I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh, no.
This is what we're going to say right before we kill him, right?
Shh, come on, no.
I didn't say that out loud. This is
Valletta will say to Nim, we will talk later about what you've done here. I need to speak to our guest here privately, and she will direct you downstairs to the second level. And then in a quieter voice, I say, well, I must thank you for bringing this this information to light for us. I would like to entrust this device to you and would like to hire you if that is something that you are amenable to.
what's the job?
You have the look of the adventuring type.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing a name tag that says Penelope, and underneath it says Adventurer. So, that's how she learned that, and we learned her name from
Name tags
From
are
the name
super
tag.
useful.
Yeah.
Ask me about my current quest underneath it.
Mhm, exactly.
now, ma'am, the Trollskull champions.
Oh, that's a great name.
We're always willing to work if the price is right. But what exactly would you be paying us to do?
Oh, yes, I would certainly consider this a great service to the Temple of Gon, the House of Inspired Hands. We would be willing to, if you bring back proof that this abomination, Bim, has been destroyed and dealt with, then we will pay you 500 gold, as well as a special boon from the House of Hands.
Do you want him back alive?
Absolutely not. We cannot allow our inventions to start creating their own inventions.
Oh, no.
This creature, unfortunately, is an abomination, and it must be
I
destroyed.
think we may be too late. The machines are making machines.
Wait, Nim is still in the room?
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, we've gone downstairs. Nim doesn't have very good hearing. He can't hear us. Don't worry.
Wait a minute. Are you going to destroy Nim?
Oh, no. But we are going to take away his crafting table for a month. Bad Nim.
Okay.
The machines are making machines. I think it's too late. I think we should all just quit our jobs. It's just waiting for the end at this point.
No, the singularity hasn't occurred yet, and that's why Bim must be destroyed.
Now, okay. Once again, this strikes deep into like the philosophies. Who are we who create and destroy? Anyways, yeah, you know what? I think we got a deal here. But Miss, is it likely that these types of creatures, whatever they are, do they have any weaknesses that we need to be aware of or strengths?
That is an excellent question, one that I'm sure I am fully capable of answering.
Does Bim have a crafting table?
Ooh,
Oh.
I certainly hope not.
Yeah. I don't like the sound of that.
So, because of their nature, their unphysical forms, they are quite resistant to normal attacks from bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing weapons. But any sort of magical attacks should definitely get through those natural defenses. Not being fully living, they are certainly immune to exhaustion and to poison and petrification. As well as they are of a stout heart. They would be very difficult to frighten.
Chaz is going to put his thumbs together. He's going to put his index fingers together, kind of making a triangle, splaying out his fingers, and he's just going to give a big old wink to Valletta there.
Oh, yes.
We'll figure something out.
I believe fire would be quite, shall we say, effective against them.
Yeah, Chaz is just smiling bigger than he has all day, you know? His day started with a big burned out crater outside his door, and, you know, had a little quirky smile all day, and it spread to both sides of his face now. Yeah.
You know, it's really great to see the pep in his step after a good burning. You know, it's nice to see.
It's nice to see the kid so happy. You know, he's young. He's
Kavan
got a lot of
hurt.
fires ahead of him.
Yeah, Kavan got hurt, but not too hurt. Like it's been a pretty good day. Yeah.
Yep.
You never work a day in your life if you love what you do.
That's right.
Okay, so I guess I'll say thank you, Miss, for your assistance, and we will report back when we get to the bottom of this situation.
Thank you so much. I hope that your search is quick and fruitful.
I'm gonna start heading towards the door.
Oh,
Yeah.
which direction is Bim likely to be? Did we figure that one out?
No,
No, we'll just walk around for a while. And
With the umbrella in our hands.
I had an idea.
okay.
We can start the last known place we saw him.
Ah.
That's what I'm thinking. Apparently, we didn't see them.
So, gotcha. Go back to the Trollskull and start tracing his steps going
Because it
up
said it
and
was
down
on the roof.
streets. Mhm.
And the
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
said it was going in a certain direction.
yeah. I think that's as good a plan as any.
One more question: would Bim be too big to power like one of those flying machines?
Perfect size.
I know in theory there's just one, right? But what would stop them from just making another one?
They are pretty dense and heavy. So if you do ask that question, Valletta was like, "Oh no, these nimble right contraptions would be much too heavy to be able to support flight with our current technological capabilities."
Could we borrow a flying machine?
Yeah.
I'm actually not allowed to lend that out currently. Listen, I
Chaz winks and says, "Why don't you just go upstairs, talk to Nim a bit, figure out what his punishment's going to be, and we'll be out of here in just a few minutes."
it's I may have overspoken its capabilities. It's quite difficult to navigate and still quite dangerous. I could, in good conscience, even allow anyone to attempt it.
I think it's very dangerous.
There's a mage hand is heading over towards the cleat where the rope that's attached to the pulleys that's attached to the flying machine is, and just trying to figure out the knot there on the cleat, trying to lower things down. And Chaz is doing a little misdirection, kind of scratching his head, and like, I mean, how hard could it be, right? I mean, you guys seem pretty talented around here, and picking at the knot.
The creator did die in its first test flight.
So there's a body count attached to this contraption.
So far, but only one person's died. We did repair it, and I think it's still in functioning order.
So it's shoot 100%. It's 1 for 1 is what you're saying.
1 for 1, yes. One flight, but it did fly.
Well, I'm talking about 1 for 1 in terms of riders and deaths.
Yes. A perfect score.
Maybe you just need to reevaluate the parameters of what you're trying to achieve. Maybe it's more of an execution device. Then it'll be work perfectly. Just saying.
Oh, interesting. Chad, are you going to attempt to untie this contraption from its suspension?
Can I roll a d20 and just see what the mage hand does? Like he's messing around with the knots, so that's attached to
Absolutely.
the pulley system. Let's
This
just
is-
let
let's-
fate decide here.
Let's play Dungeons and Dragons.
I got a 5. What does that mean?
All right. Your Arcana bonus would be +4 at this point.
You can do that. I don't know. I rolled a 5. What does that mean?
Okay. You do attempt with your mage hand to detach it from what is holding it up. And it is basically suspended with some wire, but it's like it's almost like a clasp and a hook sort of deal. And from your vantage point, like, and what you could see, it's almost like, trying to move your left hand by looking at it in a mirror. And sometimes you're like, okay, I'm going to move it left, but it ends up going right. Essentially, you were not able to release this hooking mechanism. You do jostle it a little bit, but it is still quite well suspended above the air.
Okay. So we're getting some creaking sounds up by the flying machine up there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get a little bit frustrated, but then I'm going to think about my afternoon coming up of teaching my friends how to fight with burning torches. So, getting distracted, getting ready to move on to the next thing.
Well, I think that's the play, right? Head back to the site
Mhm.
of the
Blast.
I guess it was a murder blast. Yeah.
It's a mass murder. Yeah.
Ooh, the themes in this episode. Wow.
Are you asking if a mechanical being can murder someone?
Oh, absolutely. They
I
can.
mean, people died, but was that just an accident with machinery, or was that, was there intent? Was there premeditation? Yeah,
That's true murder right there.
malice.
Or was it being manipulated
Mm-hmm.
by outside
Mhm.
forces?
Mm-hmm. It might just be like possessed.
Dun dun dun. All right, you head back to Trollskull Manor. Who is going to be using the nimble right detector?
Not me.
I'm feeling a little torn about this whole situation. So probably not me. I just becoming a slug mother recently. I kind of feel for Nim, and although Bim is a murderer, I don't know that I want to kill this new father's creation.
Alleged murderer.
Well,
I guess I'll use it.
Yeah.
You hold down the lever, and the umbrella extends, but it does not twirl at all. I assume that you're going to continue the path as best you know of
Mhm.
where the Nimblewright fled the scene.
Yes.
Raquel, it's like, the sins of the father are visited upon the son, they say, but never are the sins of the son put upon the father.
Wow, Dolan, you're filled with lots of wisdom today. Lots of observations on life.
Yeah, something about seeing charred corpses in the morning really just
Gets
set
you
me
thinking.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm following. While we're having this philosophical conversation, we're following Kavan down the street.
You spend a greater part of the day canvassing the streets of the section of the castle ward that you're in, going up and down, holding the Nimblewright detector aloft. And unfortunately, the day has given you no indication that there are any Nimblewrights within the vicinity. So much so that you have probably eliminated this section of the castle ward that the Nimblewright that you're looking for, Nimblewright named Bim, is certainly not in this section. The sun is beginning to set, and your day unfortunately did not give you the answers you wanted, but you certainly know that at least he's not in this section of the city. My question to you is, do you want to continue and expand your search, push on into the night, or is there anything else the party is wanting to accomplish this fine day of adventuring?
I've got nothing going on.
I mean,
We haven't eaten since breakfast.
yeah, there's. I mean, I got to go to work still.
You got to pull a shift at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting. I don't know if I want to. Here's the deal. I don't know if I want to fight this thing at night if it comes to that. That feels a little. I'd rather see it. Plus, if Bim is anything like its father, it's pretty squirrely and can move around. So I think we need all of our visual assets to come to bear.
Chad, this is a little aside for you, but as you have been just like walking the streets all day, you can't get that image of that flying machine like out of your head. And you're like, you saw like how grueling it was going up and down the streets with this little detector, and you thought, man, if you could just fly above the streets with the detector, this whole process would be so much quicker. If only there was some way you could get a hold of that flying contraption.
It was a good idea at the time. It's still a good idea now, Yeah, it does make you think.
Can you charm person?
I can do stuff. I don't know if I can do that one. No.
You didn't learn that in class.
I can lie. I can dress myself up like Nim. I can disguise myself. I can.
If only you knew someone that had like some experience in breaking and entering.
Yeah, the only thing is that person's it's got to work tonight, so
You gotta pull a shift.
Although that might just be an alibi right there. Like, look, here's my timesheet. I clocked in, I clocked out. Presumably, I was there the whole time. Somebody was in the back filling bread bowls. What do you want?
I mean, I like where this is going, but I also don't like where it's going. I mean, if you want to move quickly in the air, there are the authorities who have griffins who are also magically inclined.
Yeah. And
maybe we can give them information. And
Dolan's really turned a leaf. He's going to the cops whenever he has a problem.
He really is trying to go down the straight and narrow.
I've been doing it for 15 years, guys. I mean, I don't know. I am conflicted, but I guess I could just put in. I can get sick halfway through my bread bowl shift, and then make my way towards the Temple of God. But here's the deal: if I break, oh man, I'll have to land this thing. Oh, I don't know.
You don't have to do it alone.
This is going to be a problem.
You have 3 friends.
Yeah, but can only hold one person.
And there seems to be a weight requirement.
And I'm too fat. Kavan's too big.
Too fat to fly.
I'm too fat to fly. We have a normal human being.
Dolan, do you trust me?
Not really. I'll be honest with you, Chaz. Not really. But you know what?
Will you trust me for just this one thing? Just this one thing, Dolan?
This is giving me strong Aladdin vibes with getting on the magic carpet. Do you trust me? Except less romantic.
Yeah, what's up? Okay. What do you need? What? I trust you right now.
I'm going to put my hand on Dolan's shoulder. I'm going to say a few words. I've got my other hand in my pocket. Dolan is going to shrink to 1/2 of his current height and 1/8 of his current weight.
What spell did you use?
Can't remember the name, but it's the one I just picked up.
Trust me, it's a real spell.
I like how this 40-year-old, seasoned, worldly person is trusting this 17, 18-year-old arsonist.
But he's charming. He's very charming.
He's a good-looking guy, remember?
It's that Quartermain. It's that Quartermain in him.
Quartermain blood.
It's called enlarge/reduce.
Perfect. Okay. Chad, why don't you give me just a D20 roll real quick as you
That's
channel.
the third time you've called me Chad.
I know.
Chaz.
Man, I'm going to have to edit that in. Chaz.
I noticed that too, and I was like, maybe I misheard.
All right, I'll give you a roll. I got a 7.
You are able to harness your magical energies without any other complications. Dolan, you have now shrunk down to a much more diminutive size.
So, here's the problem. All of my handles and my whole schema for crawling through on top of buildings and walls is based off that I am exactly 5'6". So all my techniques are wrong now because I'm short, Chaz.
I'm just saying.
He's right. He's right.
How many first level spells do you have? Or is this a second level?
Second level spell.
I mean,
I'm looking down at him. Yeah, all your gear does change size with you, but you're right about the handhold things. Maybe we can get Kavan to give you a boost. Give you a leg up.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
I could throw you further now.
Yeah, even better. Jeez.
what was the skill for actually like climbing? I can't remember that.
That's like athletics.
Oh, the one that I have a -1 in?
Or
Mhm.
acrobatics is the same.
Is your acrobatics better?
Acrobatics is better. What did I spend my expertise on?
That's a great question that only you could answer.
Master of none.
Is the consensus from the group that this heist is going to happen?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll go with the flow.
It would speed up the search, that's for sure.
Seems like it, I guess. I mean, I'm already not really into this whole situation. So I'm just kind of crossing my arms and dragging my feet about everything.
Penny, listen, you were obviously our go-to pilot earlier in the day, but now we've got options for who can fly
I think I'm
this
too
thing.
short, though, right? Like, didn't you said earlier someone smaller than Kavan? I'm imagining there's like pedals and things I wouldn't be able to reach.
Nothing that a couple blocks of wood and some rope couldn't fix.
Like some homemade stilts.
Yeah, so some short round car driving skills.
Put a trench coat over and I'll look tall.
Yeah.
But I'm not willing to do that, fellas.
All right, let's plan out this heist. We got we're down in the basement of the Trollskull Manor. There's a piece of parchment that's laid down on the table, and very good schematic drawing of the Temple of Gon is there. There's spy music playing in the background.
Yeah.
Sluggy is nibbling on the edge of the parchment, sitting on the table and participating. And Dolan, you start going over the plan. Step 1, get onto the roof. Take it from there.
Yeah, I think what I'll have to do is the thing is there's only one, as far as I know, there's only one way in to the temple from the roof.
Yes, you did see that that Nim did use some sort of access to get into the attic from the roof.
Yeah, so I'll have to try to make my way in there, and then
there's a drawing of Kavan holding Dolan up and him climbing onto a neighboring building. And then it's, dotted line of you jumping from that building onto the other building, getting inside.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, climbing doesn't cost me any extra movement. And when I do a running jump, I actually cover 2 extra feet because,
that shouldn't be a problem.
No, except for now, I'm, half the size. But, so that's the play. Yeah, just get to the next building, jump across.
Dolan has returned to normal size. Guys, it turns out this spell doesn't last very long.
Does he like change as he's jumping?
Yeah, he's changing in the basement while we're still playing.
We're going to need an entirely different plan. If this happens to him in the air, this is not going to be good.
Well, you do have another spell. So how long does it last?
Concentration up to 1 minute, but we'll say it lasted part of the planning period, and then he just went back.
Okay. You were concentrating really, really hard.
Well, I mean,
that was just the catalyst. That was just the catalyst to get this going.
I mean, in the thing is, I'll be able to land this sucker, and then you can. It's a good combat spell. That's the good thing about it.
Listen, I mean, I think the goal is to just get it out of the building, right?
Yes,
You don't
exactly.
have to fly it out of the building. You just got to get it out of the building.
You just gotta prove that it works so that, Penny will be okay giving this a shot later on, maybe.
What? Excuse me.
So we have the plan so far. We could get Dolan inside. But now what we need is a distraction. Who's on distraction duty?
A diversion.
I could do it, I guess.
Chaz is looking back and forth between Kavan and Penny, back and
I'll do
forth,
it.
back and forth.
I mean, what is Chaz? Chaz, what are you going to do?
I'm going to be concentrating.
Oh,
You want me concentrating, Dolan. You want me to be totally focused for up to a minute.
Yeah, I'll distract.
What are you gonna do, Kavan?
I'll figure it out.
so we have a distraction. We're going to have a distraction. Now we got to get the doors open.
Here's the beauty of it. The doors are never locked.
Mhm.
It's a church.
What? How do we feel about this House of Inspired Hands? Like, is this god Gond known as like a good guy or not? Like, I know we're adventurers and all, but we're about to rob a church, which doesn't feel great.
Actually, speak for yourself. I mean, after years of tax exempt status, finally. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
God, I believe, is a neutral god, neither good nor evil, merely a god of invention.
We're gonna prove this invention works. We're gonna take the risk on ourselves, or rather, Dolan is gonna take all the risks on himself, and we're gonna validate the life of the brave inventor who sadly perished on the first flight of this machine.
In some ways, if you prove that this invention can work, you are merely praising God.
Yeah.
In many
I
ways,
think-
it could be a form of worship.
That works. I'm good with that. You all good with that?
As good as we're going to be. All right, yeah. So I guess that's the plan. We're going to get a
Okay.
distraction. I'm going to get across the building. I'm going to get underneath. And I guess the Penny and Chaz are going to go through the main door so they can look at me and concentrate and fear for my life. And then I'll get this puppy out of there.
Yeah, I guess I'll just be the lookout for Chaz while he's concentrating.
I appreciate that. Dolan probably appreciates that.
All right, the plan is set into motion. Kavan gives Dolan a boost onto a neighboring roof. Dolan, you take 2 steps back and tighten your girdle just ever so slightly and make a running leap for the other building. I want you to make an acrobatics check.
What if he doesn't make it? We didn't talk about that. I whispered to Chaz.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not going to. I mean, hey, let's play some D&D. 12.
All right. It is not a very graceful. You do clear the gap, but your toe does catch on a shingle, and you do make quite a large slap as your body ungracefully stumbles and rolls across the roof. You do catch yourself, and you make your way towards the opening. As you do make your way towards the opening does open, and you see the faceless form of Nim staring back at you, and it raises its shoulders at you and lifts up its arms.
You know what? For some reason, like, I'm seeing this as just a series of, is it pratfalls?
Yeah.
Like, if this was a movie, every step of the way is going to be a disaster.
Definitely Mr. Bean would be involved in this project at some point.
Hey, you know what? Listen, Nim, we got to find your son. And
He shakes his head up and down.
that, do you know, oh boy, do you know what the priests and priestesses have gone to have in store for your son when they find him?
He tilts his head and then shakes it no.
It's really important that we find your boy. So what I need to do is I'm going to take that flying machine and we're going to use it to fly around the city to find him, because it's only a matter of time before someone else finds him, and that's not going to end well.
Nim lifts up his hand, places it on his chin, and taps where he would have a mouth a few times. And then he shakes his head up and down in a yes and gives you a big thumbs up and motions for you to come on inside.
Okay, cool. I didn't have the heart to tell him they were going to destroy his boy.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Dolan is inside with Nim. It is time for the distraction.
Yep. I'm just outside yelling, "Look at me. Here I am."
Do you have your purple cape on?
Oh yeah.
That's just, yeah. He has his finest clothes on, looking really good.
Now, Kavan, tell me if I'm wrong, but don't you have an instrument of some sort? I feel like there was some discussion of you being proficient in some sort of instrument that was kind of funny. You took the Outlander. I think you get it from Outlander. You get a proficiency in one type of instrument. I'm sure you wrote that down, right, Ed?
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Let me see here. You have a drum. It is written down.
Oh, okay. I'm beating a drum.
Okay, so you've gotten out your tribal drum and you're setting down a nice beat. You are exclaiming once again. Give me the sound bite for that.
Look at me. Here I am. I think it's Kermit the Frog thing.
Please edit in some drumming sounds.
Yeah, no, actually, I think I'm going to turn that into a whole song.
Yeah.
Look at me, come again. Do a sick, drum beat.
Look at me. Here I am. 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 Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Here I am.
Maybe some villager pulls out a tambourine and joins Kavan.
Yeah. Never know, man.
There are lights coming on. You're being quite loud, and you are doing a very good job of doing a distraction.
Nice.
You're a distractor.
In this chaos, Penny and Chaz, you're able to slip in to the Hall of Inventions. And shortly after you slip in there from the bottom floor, you see Nim with Dolan in tow come down from downstairs. What is the next step of the plan?
Well, I assume from the staircase, I might be able to make another. Will I be able to do a running jump, or do you think I might be able to do you think from one of the railings, one of the things that's hanging on
the wires? Yeah, you think it looks like a very simple jump to grab onto one of the wires and then shimmy down to the contraption.
Yeah, but the thing is once I'm in there, I think as I'm jumping across, or as I jump down into it, or plop down, that's when the spell needs to go off.
Yeah.
You understand? So as I'm in the air, so rather than coming down in my full 42-year-old weight, that's when you hit the spell. And that's when Penny needs to pull the rope to release it.
And you communicate all this with a simple look between you and Chaz. And that look just says it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can
For
also
sure.
communicate inside his head, so we can retcon this however we need to. Yeah.
That'll actually work way better if all of this is actually communicated. Chaz gives you the thumbs up as you do the silent communication with his mystical wonders, and the plan goes into execution mode. Penny is ready to cut the rope. Chaz is ready to do the spell. Dolan is ready to make the leap. Dolan, you take 2 steps back. You run, leap off. Chaz, roll a d20.
Oh, I can do that. Rolled a 17, natural 17.
That's 17.
As you tap into that inside magical well that you have inside of you, there's always this like burning desire and fire that is mixed in with that well of opportunity and mystical power. And sometimes that burning desire, that burning fire, gets out of hand and slips through your fingers. That actually happens. And right now, we're going to roll on the wild magic chart.
Hey, come on, kids. Let's find out what happened on the wild magic chart. Wild.
54.
53 to 54. You are immune to being intoxicated by alcohol for the next 5d6 days.
Oh, do I know this?
Yes, you do inherently know this.
I'm going to roll a d6 right now.
5d6s.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 10. It's 10 days, and this is at the back of my mind. Like I need to concentrate right now. This is giving me a little bit of a nervous tick, but I'm gonna go back into my bag of chile limon corn chips and just start housing those. That's how I concentrate on my spells sometimes. But I'm focused. Don't worry. Like it's cool that I know that I'm immune to the effects of alcohol for the next 10 days. But right now, Dolan, he's in the air and he's shrinking. He's shrinking in the air. He's falling, hopefully centered into the cockpit of this flying machine. But he's the right size at least. He's got to stick the landing himself. I can't help with that.
I'm gonna as I'm jumping.
Dolan, you land much lighter than you've been in a very long time onto the flying contraption. Penny,
Mm-hmm.
you quickly are able to cut the rope. The flying contraption releases from all of its, there's these, the sounds of wires snapping. And the flying machine starts to descend and crash to the floor. Dolan, what do you do?
Well, that's when I mean, obviously, there's like a stick, right?
Pull up,
Like
pull
there's
up, pull up.
Yeah, it's a manual.
I pull up, and then there's like yeah. There's the they call it a yong, a yo. What do they call that thing?
The yaw?
The yaw.
The yeehaw.
Pitch yaw?
Pitch,
Yeah.
is it just called a yoke?
I don't. Either way, I instinctually, as I'm going down, I pull it back.
Yeah. Luckily, this is a 5th generation flying contraption.
I was going to say the same thing.
Why don't you give me a d20 roll, Dolan?
I rolled a 3 + 1, which is a 4.
Unfortunately for you, you are not able to gain control or understand anything that's going on with this flying contraption.
It's because my brain got real small,
Oh.
you know? So it's just like all the neurons and everything just like sucked down into, you know.
As this contraption is now obviously crashing to the floor, I will allow everyone to make one reaction to this. We will start with Chaz. What is Chaz's reaction to this utter failure from Dolan to control this machine?
I'm going to lose my job.
Mage Hand is going to apply, I don't know, 5 or 10 pounds of pressure upwards on the nose of the plane.
Okay, I like that. Penny, do you have anything up your gnomish sleeve?
I really don't think I have any spells and or enough strength to stop or save this plane crashing to the ground. So no, I just make sure I back away. I'm gonna try to make sure Sluggy doesn't get squished in the back.
You are able actually to dive to the side to make sure that you do not take any terrible or serious damage from this.
I think Kavan is just in the heat of the moment. Music's going everywhere. Other people are showing up with instruments. I think he's feeling good.
People are throwing like coins at me. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, people are out on their back balconies. They're kind of clapping, and they're enjoying it. You're quite good with the drum.
Kavan, remind us how the song goes that we hear from outside.
Yeah, look at me. Here I am. That's it.
Dolan, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
7. Actually, no. No, that's a 5. I've rolled 2 3s in a row.
Dolan, can you check to make sure? Oh, you're rolling a D3. It looks like that only rolls 3s.
No,
you're not. You are rolling a D20. It's just,
Okay.
you just keep rolling 3s.
I'm like, that makes perfect sense while I'm making 3s.
Unfortunately, Dolan, it crashes to the ground. You try to jump out of it, but your foot gets caught. You are going to take 2 points of lower back damage.
I'm vulnerable.
My concentration has completely broken by this point. You just returned to normal size.
As you land, right as you hit your back, you actually increase in size. And so this really ends up tweaking your back bad. You are going to be vulnerable to any additional lower back damage for the next 24 hours.
Well, okay, because I'm vulnerable to lower back damage as it is. What's after vulnerable?
So here's the thing. The mechanics are that you become vulnerable after you receive your first lower back damage. So you have to receive lower back because, when your back's fine, it's fine. You could go all day and then you toss a Frisbee in the wrong way and that lower back can just take you out.
For the whole weekend, dude. Whole weekend it could take you out, man.
Your
Not
back,
longer.
Your lower back could be fine, but after lying in bed for 16 hours in the day, all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, your lower back hurts. All right, so okay, I took my damage, and I'm prepared for what can happen next.
You're able to get up. The flying contraption definitely looks like it took some damage, but it is fairly well intact. At this moment, you look upstairs and you see Nim put his hands on his head and shake it back to back, and he starts waving his hands, and he's panicking because the noise from this, lights are coming on and doors are starting to open on the second floor where all the sleeping quarters are for the priests are. Nimble then holds up his finger, and you almost see a visible light bulb above his head. And he jumps off of the balcony and lands onto a miniature model of a mechanical dragon turtle that has a big brass plate affixed to the pedestal that reads Big Belchy. And he reaches underneath the neck and pulls something, and Big Belchy starts to belch big bouts of steam, and the steam starts filling the entire chamber, obscuring everyone from view. What do you do next?
Guys, run!
Do you take the flying machine with you?
I mean, how big is it? Can we carry it?
Yeah, it's being a flying machine. It's actually
light.
Not that heavy.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna risk some lower back damage.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, guys, help! and I'll try to get this thing lifted up.
Okay, Dolan, give me an athletics check.
Guys, whatever happened to just like give me a sleight of hand, give me an insight? You know, your years of experience have made your mind a powerful weapon. Oh.
Dolan, you take 18 points of lower back damage.
Okay, so
You're vulnerable.
so is it 18? How 18 points?
Well, yes, it's a D10 of lower back damage. I rolled a 9, and when you are vulnerable, you double.
I'm at negative.
Okay.
Actually, you know what though? Did you say 18?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I probably had one of my special snacks before I went out.
Did you increase your health to level 3?
Yeah, I'm at 18. I have 18 hit points.
That seems really low.
Dude, even in D&D Beyond at level 3, I have 18 hit points. But here's the deal.
What's your constitution?
0.
That's why.
Here's the thing, though. I for sure, before I left, used my background feat to cook treats.
Yeah, for sure.
And that gives us all temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. And my proficiency bonus is 2. Oh, no. So it puts me at 0. I have 0 hit points.
I'm going to toss Dolan 5 good berries.
Okay. So this is what happens. So Dolan.
Okay, guys, quick. Give me a hand. We got to carry this thing out of here.
Okay, and Dolan, you lift down using your legs, and you grab it. Chaz, you get the front end. Dolan has the back end. You lift it up, and the amount of pain that shoots through your back right now, Dolan, as you lift up this flying machine, is beyond comprehension or description. You black out and fall flat, and the back end of the contraption hits the floor. And now at this point, Penny, you said you were going to rush over to him and start force feeding him some berries. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. As you shove the berries in, Dolan, you come back into consciousness. You now have 5 hit points.
Awesome.
And you have just mere moments before this steam dissipates. What do you do now?
I'm gonna tell Penny, help me lift this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoot under the flying machine and just pick it up over my head. And
yeah, she's gonna do a full military press.
Yes.
While I do a curl.
Do you need me to do a strength check?
No, the 3 of you now working in concert, you are able to get this flying machine out the front door, down the street.
The one guy we needed to lift this thing is out there playing drums.
Here I am.
There's a bunch of
Look at me.
There's a bunch of long-haired, barefoot, stinky hippies out there, patchouli and hacky sacks.
They're just swaying.
Yeah.
They're all looking at Kavan while we're running behind him with a flying machine.
Kavan at this point has created a bit of an impromptu parade that's going down the street. In years to come, it'll be known as the Here I Am, Look at Me Festival. And it'll be celebrated in this section of Waterdeep for many a year. But the distraction is so good that no one does notice you opening up the front doors. All the steam that comes out of the room covers your escape, and you are able to get the flying machine back to the Trollskull Manor. Several hours later, Kavan shows up. He has several lays around his neck. You see some lipstick kisses residue all over his face, and he has a mischievous grin on his face as he comes in.
He's all pupils. Like it's just like this. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad he had a good time. I'm in bed.
Yeah.
That was great, guys. That was great.
Great work too.
I see you guys did your part.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Heavy.
Intro music composed by Symphonikev, and again the Soundscapes created by Syrinscape.com. Thank you so much for listening to the 20-Sided Realms. If you liked what you heard, please share it with others. Until next time.
Look at me. Here I am. 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 Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Here I am.